Hello, everyone. We're back with another exciting workshop. I am Hadia, and I thank you all for being a part of this workshop. For people who are joining in for the first time, I'd like to give like a very, very warm welcome to all of you. And I'd also like to talk a bit about the Curious platform. So, Curious is a platform where we change the way you learn and you earn. And we are on a mission to transform 100 million careers. And how are we doing that? We're doing that through sessions like these where we have conversational learning. We learn from you, we share our learnings with you as well. We love to hear your ideas, thoughts, comments, suggestions. So you can unmute yourself and share whatever you want to share, or you can share it in the comments section. We'd love to hear from all of you. And also, what we're doing is that we're giving apprentices bite sized learning from industry experts who we call mentors on the platform. And then we put you together with projects where you can apply everything that you've learned. On the platform, currently, we have multiple cohorts and workshops available. And we're also coming up with many new exciting learning streams. So if you're looking to accelerate your learning journey, be a part of Curious and you can sign up at curious.com. Also, you are more than welcome to join our Slack tribe. This is where you will find all the future market leaders and the stellar mentors. And we'd love to see you and we'd love to interact with all of you one on one. Talking about the workshop at hand, in this workshop, we will be talking about managing a successful career shift. We have been incredibly lucky to have with us Mina Wasfi from Talabat. A very brief sort of introduction of Mina is that he is a talent development professional, a certified NLP master practitioner, a career coach, and a diversity and inclusion enthusiast who values freedom, responsibility, and determination. He has more than 8 years of professional experience in the fields of e commerce, startups, sales, marketing, and human development. Mina completed his general management bachelor studies at the German University in Cairo and holds an MBA degree from the School of Business in Victoria College with strategic management focus. Mina is a certified organizational culture expert by Hofstede and a professional trainer from the American University in Cairo. After his few early career years working with startups to enhance their business development and marketing practices, Mina had a spark of passion. And he went on to lead NGO efforts to restore the lives of families heavily impacted by ISIS. For 4 years, he has contributed in countless relief and community development projects across Levant and Africa, supporting the unfortunate families on the financial, medical, social, and personal sides. For almost 4 years, he's led field work across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, Congo, Ghana, Liberia, and Namibia. Afterwards, Mina decided to change his direction again and moved on to play a main role in transforming the lives of business professionals. He co established the talent development regional function at Talabat, the leading food delivery business in MENA region. Throughout his journey at Talabat, he has trained more than 1,000 business leaders and 2,000 employees on leadership skills, agile methodologies, emotional intelligence, stakeholder management, public speaking, and more. He's currently living in Dubai and leading the regional learning and leadership development activities of Delivery Hero across the MENA region. Having professional experiences on both the business and community work, Mina brings unique yet relevant experiences from war zones to professional life, empowering his learners to unleash their individual potential and strive for success. His experience sharing approach is all about using real world examples, life cases, and scientific references to challenge preset perspectives and empower his learners to grow fast and smarter. Thank you so much, Mina, for being a part of this workshop. Lucky to have you here.
Pleasure is all mine, Hadia. Thank you for the detailed introduction. Welcome, everybody. I know this is not what you probably expect to have today, but if you want to put your camera on, please do so. Feel free to interrupt me at any time. My assumption is that everybody's here because they're curious about the topic of managing a successful career shift. And if you're excited about managing a successful career shift, then you're probably considering one. All right. And for these kind of topics or areas to explore, it is usually a little bit tricky to talk about general concepts. Like the attempt to generalize a solution or to generalize some sort of a recommendation or a mentor advice is a little bit tricky, right? Because everybody is like different when it comes to their career aspirations, their backgrounds, where they're coming from, where is it that they're going to be at in a few years, right? So we're very, very different. My objective for today is that I'm going to just lay a foundation to a few, let's say, rules of thumb of what to consider when you want to make a career shift. So when the idea comes to your mind, I want to shift my career, all right? Well, a few questions to ask yourself before you start exploring what is it the career you want to go for and how you're going to do this, all right? Which, of course, something we're going to touch base on. But I just wanted to clarify that whatever I'm going to say today, you might take a little bit, bits and pieces here and there. But then if you want a conversation where you want to address a few, let's say, specific factors or specific challenges, or a little bit of maybe personal thoughts or questions you want answered, at the end of the session, I'm going to offer you guys a link where you can go and book a one-on-one conversation with me, of course, completely confidential. If you want to like take this conversation further when it comes to what is it that you want to do next, all right? And with this, allow me to start sharing my screen. So, just before we start, it's very, very easy to be distracted, all right? You're here, you made sure you're here because you want to hear what we want to say, right? So please make sure that you avoid the distractions. And this is what I was saying, our objective is to focus on the topic of career. And what you see here on the screen is what we call the wheel of life. Our lives has like 8 different what we call main sides of life, all right? And this is what forms our life. What we're here to focus on is the career. And of course, your success with your career would impact your success when it comes to finances, for example. If you lead a healthy life, you're more likely, or it will be easier for you to elevate or maximize your impact on the professional side. So everything is linked to everything. Today, we're only focusing on the career side of things, and we are solving 4 main problems. First problem is, when it comes to you, then I want to shift my career. Is this the right solution? Like whatever the challenge that you're facing, and then you go like, well, you know what? How about I just shift career, Is this the right solution? This is the first thing we're going to address. The second question we're going to answer is, all right, what is it, the suitable career that you can shift to? Because everybody can be successful, everybody can be exceptional when they lead on the suitable career. The third problem we're going to solve today is, why am I hesitant sometimes? So I know I have a challenge and I know the solution is to shift career, and I am positive about which career I want to jump and make like a history at. But why is it taking me a little bit of time to actually go and make the move? And the fourth and last problem we're going to solve is, all right, so I know it is a career shift that I need to do, and I know what career I want to go after, and I don't have any hesitation now. I have full clarity on my own vision. So how do I make it happen? Namely, the practical steps to take in order to make a successful career shift. Let me pause here for a second and ask first before I move on. Is there anything else beside the 4 points that I just mentioned that you expect to be addressed throughout this webinar? Just feel free to throw it in the chat. Like the reason why I look sideways like this is where I'm looking at you guys in the chat, all right? This is my screen, this is the presentation, and this is you guys, all right? So whenever I'm looking at this, I'm looking at you, and I'm waiting for your comments, I'm waiting for your questions in the chat, and again, please feel free to just unmute and interrupt me at any point in time. The first problem to solve today is a career shift the right solution? Yeah, let me illustrate for a second. I come to you and I say, for example, Ronald, I want to buy a new car. And Ronald is going to ask me, why? And I say, because the one I got is broken, Ronald. And Ronald is like, but Mina, you just bought this car. Like, it's too soon for it to be broken. And I go like, yeah, the way I drive, I take bumps roughly sometimes. And he was like, and why do you do that? And I go like, because I'm not in my greatest mood, especially after work. Ronald is getting curious, and he's like, why are you not in the best mood? I go like, because I'm not really enjoying my time at work. I'm not happy with my job. And now Ronald is really curious, and he goes like, why? I go like, because my work is not recognized. So apparently the problem that I need to solve is that my work is not recognized. Because if I go now and I buy a new car, and what's going to happen? I'm going to break it again because I keep driving the same way I drive. Why? Because I'm not in the best mood after a work day. Why? Because I'm not happy at work, because my work is not recognized. So the immediate problem that I need to solve is to address the root of the issue, what we call the root of the issue. And the root of the issue is that my work is not recognized. This little exercise we did here is what we call the exercise of 7 whys. This is when you feel some sort of dissatisfaction, or you're curious about something, or you feel you're not really sure about something. Start asking yourself why. If you go like, I want to shift career because I'm not making a lot of money. Are you not making a lot of money because the career you're leading on right now is not helping you make a lot of money? Or the job, the role, the position you're at right now is not allowing you to make a lot of money, and maybe there is another role, another job directly related to your career where you can invest all your experience and all the knowledge you already have about the career you're currently part of, and you can invest all of that in leading a longer term kind of career journey. It's just that you need to change the position, not the entire career. So the first thing we need to focus on, the first takeaway of today's webinar is to make sure you are addressing the right issue. Look at the 7 whys, your 7 whys, and go like, am I addressing the right issue? If the answer is yes, so why? It looks like I'm in the wrong career. Then let's move on with the rest of the session. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask your questions. This is when it gets interesting. So I know that this is my issue. I need to shift career. There is a specific career that I'm passionate about, or I don't feel any passion anymore for the career I'm leading right now, or I see clear opportunities for me to excel in another career. Okay, so from like first impression kind of situation, you go like, this is an interesting career that I want to be a part of. Very good, very good. Now, how do you make sure that this is a career you are going to excel in? Let's answer this question. And allow me to use my own personal experience of why I shifted career 4 times to make a point. I shifted career 4 times, which means I have played a role in 5 different careers. I started my professional career with B2B sales, and then I shifted to B2C marketing, and then I did strategy, and then I did nonprofit, like NGO work, and then now I'm doing talent development. Please drop in the chat your impression about this. Do you think this is, like, what's happening here is a success story or a failure story? I'm waiting for you to tell me in the chat. What do you think? Is what you see now on the screen a success story or a failure story? Hadia says success. Rabia says success. Eden says success, where you explore different avenues. Guys, I'm really proud of you. You have such a growth mindset. Rama says success through courage of trying different things. So I says success. All right. Let me now, I meant to ask the question this way, because now let me ask the question in a more clear way. Wouldn't it have been better and more fruitful and more impactful and even more successful if I already knew who I am and what is it that I want and which career I'm going to be a success at and excel at, and then I just go and lead on this career, and then I invest all of these years? Like, for example, if I stayed as a B2B sales professional, I would have been a VP by now or something. Think of it this way. A way of looking at it is that, yeah, it's a journey of exploring oneself, right? So I'm exploring myself. I'm exploring different careers. I'm getting a lot of horizontal experience, but what's happening with the vertical experience? What's happening there? And the reason why I kept shifting career that frequently is because I've been led to do so. I've been told that this is the right solution to my problems. And this is why I started this workshop with asking the question, is it the right issue you're solving or not? You see what I mean? Like Rabia says, you discover, like Rabia in the chat says, you discover who you are through experimenting. What you learned brought you to where you are today. Precisely my point. So what if I came to you and told you that there is a much smarter way, that takes much shorter time, comes with much less cost for you to answer the question, who am I? And which career is suitable for me? This is what we're going to do right now. To avoid that, to avoid wasting time of, let me try this, how about I try that, but maybe this, but maybe that. How about there is a shorter route, there is a shortcut for that, which is knowing yourself. And the way you do that is by knowing 3 things about yourself. 3 things about yourself. The first thing is your motives. And when I say motives, I mean, what is it that strikes the passion in you? That makes you wake up really early in the morning. You don't mind staying late at night, working, in order to achieve whatever goal you've set. And we're motivated in different ways, right? There are intrinsic motives, there are extrinsic motives. I don't want to go too technical in that, but there are 5 main umbrellas under which all our motives are could belong to. You know what I mean? Like, are you doing something because you believe in it? So I want to do something, even if nobody's looking, because this is what I want to do. I am motivated. I am intrinsically driven to do that. This is what we call self-fulfillment, because it fulfills something in you. It suits you. This is what you want to do. Recognition is when you want to do what you're about to do because you're getting some sort of praise for it. You get recognition. You get acknowledgement from people, maybe from yourself sometimes, but especially your loved ones, your inner circle. Or maybe what motivates you is when you feel safe, when you feel you belong. So when you're in a company, for example, or you're a part of a work group where you feel you're an essential, important, noticeable, relevant part of the group, you feel you belong to that group, and that makes you feel safe, makes you yourself, and drives you to perform better and give it your all. Or maybe safety. You feel secured, like you have a strong contract, or the circumstances you're working on is not asking you for a lot of uncertainty, so things are certain, things are clear, and you feel safe. And because you feel safe and comfortable, you give it your all. And of course, materialistic. Like, material is one of the motives as well. Like, you're in it because of that materialistic / financial benefit kind of thing. The first question I have to you is, what is it that motivates you? Nobody knows what's happening in your head, right? Like, what's in your head is in your head. So this is a question that you answer between you, and there is no right or wrong. There is no better or worse. We all work for money, for example. So if material is the first motive you have for you to give it your all, it's very fair to say so, right? So please make sure you understand your motives. This is the first thing. And the reason why this is relevant is because you want to go to a career that would give you periodically whatever motivates you. The second thing that you need to have clarity on is your values. Namely, what is it that you believe are the most important things in life? Psychologists and sociologists across the world sat together and came up with the 12 top personal values of all times. The 12 values you see on the screen right now. And now the reason why this is relevant is because you want to go to a career that would satisfy your values. What is it that I'm talking about? For example, imagine a doctor, a physician, that doesn't believe in hope. What do you think? Or a judge that doesn't believe in justice, for example, or a soldier that doesn't believe in honor, or an NGO practitioner who doesn't believe in service. There are some careers where you need to have the relevant values scoring high on your list so that you're more motivated and you feel relevant and you feel you want to give it your all. You're convinced with the role you play in life. I said there are three things you need to know about yourself before considering a career shift. The first thing is your motives. The second thing is your values. And the third thing is your Ikigai. Ikigai, if you haven't heard about it, it's a Japanese philosophy, super, super, super famous. A lot of books. If you just go to Google and Google Ikigai, you'll find a lot of content around the concept. All right. But what I'm gonna introduce you to now is like the summary or the simple version of an Ikigai. All right. Ikigai is this Japanese philosophy that tries to help you to live a happy life, to live a fulfilled life, have your peace of mind, maximize your joy. And we will see how directly linked this is to you as a profession. The first thing Ikigai asks you is, what is your passion? What is the thing that when you wake up in the morning, you think about, you want to do it all the time, and you start doing it, you get tears in your eyes, you get goosebumps, you're super happy, you don't feel time passes, you don't want to drink, you don't want to eat, you don't want to sleep, and you look forward when this comes up, when you know something is coming on the horizon, you're very excited for it, you can't wait. This is what we call your passion. Yes, Yarama, tell me. Rama's asking, what if we don't know it? This is a really, really good question. I have a short answer, I have a long answer. We cannot have the long answer now because it needs I need to explore with you a few things. So it needs a one-on-one conversation. But short answer, it's probably because of two things. The first, two reasons, two big reasons under which a lot of, it's like a chart, it's like a tree. But it originates from mainly two main reasons, two bigger reasons. The first reason is you've been oppressed when you were young, very young. When they used to come to us in class and they go what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be an engineer, Oh, and the teacher is very excited. Oh, this is great. You want to be an engineer. And then you go home and you go to your parents and you go I want to be an engineer. And your parents will go you're going to be a pharmacist. But I really want to be an engineer. No, you're going to be a pharmacist. So on your subconscious, you just hide this, you put it in a drawer and you close this drawer, your dream of becoming an engineer, and it's gone. So it's there somewhere, but we just need, to crack your head and find it, but it's there. It's been hidden, it's been oppressed of some sort. It wasn't encouraged from an early age, so it went away. This is the first reason. And the second reason is because maybe you haven't experienced life enough, you need to do more discovery and figure out what is out there. Have you tried painting before? Taking a brush and try to paint something. Maybe you haven't ever done something like that before. But maybe when you try to do it, you figure out, man, I love doing that. I didn't know. Or you play music, or you do business consultancy, or you do sales or finance, or you do HR, or you do acting, or you do law, or whatever it is. Life is limitless, Maybe you just need to experience more. This is my short answer. It's either you already know what your passion is, it's just been oppressed. The second thing is probably maybe because you need to experience more of life. I hope this is this answers your question for now, or this at least gives you a few pointers, Zama. And thank you for the question. So back to Ikigai, because Ikigai asks you for a question, the first thing is, what is it that you're passionate about? The second question is, what is it that you're talented at? Don't mix both. These are two different things. A talent is something that when you do, it comes out with really high quality. and you get a lot of acknowledgement. Like people come to you and go like, that was good. And you don't really get it, like what was difficult about it, because I didn't put a lot of effort, or I didn't find it difficult to do it like this. When you can see that other people struggle to achieve the level of productivity, quality of output that you're able to provide, this is when you know you're talented. You have this talent. And back to Rama's question, when she goes like, I do not know my passion. Well, this is something you need to discover. I cannot come to you and say, by the way, you look like you're passionate about this. You need to be the one realizing what is it that you're passionate at. But when it comes to talent, people need to be the ones telling you whether you're talented at something or not. Imagine a karaoke night. You go out with your friends to a karaoke night, and then one of your friends takes the stage, holds the microphone about to sing, and then everybody just jump on them, trying to take the microphone away from them. They are passionate about singing. They believe they're good at it, but the friends don't really agree. You see what I mean? So a passion is something you decide on. A talent is something that you start paying attention to because you're receiving a lot of positive feedback about your performance on that front. So passion, talent. And the third thing is needs, demand. What's on the rise right now? What's in demand? Tech stuff, tech topics in demand. Startups, that's a demand, right? Whatever is a trend, whatever is a career or a field that is exploding. You see what I mean? And you know that there's a lot of opportunities there because, like blockchain, exactly. So you go like, maybe if I'm considering a career shift, probably the more opportunities that are there, the more likely is it that I might land an opportunity. Like, I get an opening to just enter this career. So you want to consider a career that has opportunities, not saturated with experienced professionals already. So passion, talent, needs, and the fourth question is lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle would this career give you? For example, if you want to become a teacher, that means you finish work relatively early in the day, right? You get your weekends, you do not work outside of working hours, and you get a lot of breaks, relatively speaking. You have summer break, you have the winter break, et cetera, et cetera. If you work as a business consultant, on the other hand, you don't get to go home. Yeah, I've been there, like you don't get to go home. You don't get to spend a lot of time with family. You don't have a lot of spare time per se. So this is a different lifestyle. If you choose to be a doctor, it's very different than you choosing to be a lawyer. It's very different than you choosing to be an adventurer. You know what I mean? Like the lifestyle is completely different with everything that comes with it, with your motives, with your values, with your Ikigai. You put those three in a blender when you realize that, so these are my motives, and these are my values, and my Ikigai, these things that I'm passionate about and talented at, and there are opportunities in this career, and this is the lifestyle I wish to have. You probably have a clear idea of what career would be suitable for you. But hold your horses. Asad, hold your horses. We've all, now we've been trying to explore who we are, right? Have more awareness of ourselves. We're trying to know three things about ourselves. We're trying to know who we are in terms of what motivates us as professionals, what are our values as people, and what is our purpose. What is the one thing that if we do, we feel fulfilled? We feel that this is who we are, namely being passionate and talented and playing an effective role, having opportunities, and ends up with us living the life we want and everything. But there are a few options, right? Like even if you know what motivates you and you know what your values are and you know what your ikigai is, but you still need to explore the different options of careers. So what we're going to do now is analyze or know how to analyze a career. I'm a Hogan certified assessor, and if you don't know what Hogan is the Rolls Royce of psychometrics. Like if you want to assess a professional, if this professional is suitable for a specific job or a specific role in a company, you take him and do a Hogan assessment. And Hogan tells you that, like, how are they scoring in relation to the requirements of the job. And based on the HBI assessment, because Hogan has three main assessments, HBI is one of them. Based on HBI, there are three areas to analyze a role or a job or a career for that matter. Three areas to explore. What kind of energy and drive required to succeed in this career? This is the first bucket. The second bucket is, how are you getting along with people? Namely, does this career require you to have exceptional interpersonal skills or not? And the third bucket is your approach when it comes to problem solving and learning. Let me tell you a little bit more about these stuff. So when it comes to energy and drive, for example, two questions to ask. First question is, how adjustable does a professional in this career, how adjustable do they really need to be? Do they really need to be empathetic and calm and flexible and open to change, and you know what I mean? Or it's not necessary, not necessary. Like, let me ask you a question. If I want to be a policeman, for example, is it a good thing that I have high adjustability? Is it a good thing? I don't think so. Because you cannot, like if you catch a thief and the thief goes like, but I'm sorry, I have like my wife at home and my kids and I really want to go home, and you're very empathetic and calm and you go like, well, I'm sorry I caught you. I don't want to arrest you. You may go home now. You see what I mean? It's not the trait that you would like to see in a policeman. They need to be able to control their emotions, stay objective, and abide by the rules. So from the first look at being adjustable, you go like, but adjustability is a good thing, Mina. And I go like, what are you assessing? Because it depends what career, what role you are assessing. So the first thing about energy and drive when it comes to assessing a career is to check, how adjustable do I need to be to excel in this career? And the second thing is, how ambitious should I be? So this is two things to explore when it comes to a career: energy and drive, and you want to know how adjustable I am and how ambitious I am. Now let's explore getting along. Two things to explore there. Sociability. How much do you like being amongst crowds, parties, events, experiences, entertaining setup, kind of thing? And trust me, like if you're in media, for example, if you're a show host or something, you need to be sociable, right? If you're a therapist, you don't really need that. Like if you score low on sociability, it's fine, right? So for introverts, this is important. If you consider yourself to be an introvert, you want to ask yourself, to succeed in this career and be happy and give it my all and be motivated every morning, does this suit me as a person or not? And the second thing you want to consider is interpersonal sensitivity. And the difference between sociability and interpersonal sensitivity is that sociability is about dealing with large groups of people, being a part of a larger social setup. Interpersonal sensitivity is more about the one-on-one interaction, the quality of the relationships. And moving to the third bucket about problem solving and learning style or learning approach is, number one, how attentive to details are you? Prudence. For finance people, this is super important. For example, to be very attentive to details. Inquisitive, how creative or imaginative or curious are you? Super important. If you want to be a scientist or a writer. And the third is the learning approach or the learning style. How academic are you? Do you really like reading, etc., etc.? Essential for some careers, not even relevant in some other careers, right? Like for example, if you want to be a an adventurer, you don't need high learning approach. But if you want to be a professor, a college professor, you need to be high in learning approach. So you look at these things and you go like, okay, I am going to talk, and we're getting into the specific, like the steps, what steps to take in order to lead a successful career shift. But when you're analyzing a career, go to the professionals, successful professionals, and go like, how adjustable do you think a successful person, successful professional in this career should be? How ambitious should they be, etc., etc. And then when you collect this information, now you are analyzing this career, and then you match it with who you are as a person. Does it suit you or not? Ines is asking, does age affect our career shift, and how can we deal with the age gap? This is a general question. Like Ines, back to the beginning of the webinar, I said this topic specifically is one of the topics that is risky to give like general answers to, because we're different. So it depends on which career you go for. Does age count, etc., etc.? Because in some careers age count. Like if you want to become a footballer, for example, and you want to start becoming a footballer at the age of 35, you're very highly unlikely to land the job of your dreams. You see what I mean? You need to start really young. So it depends. But what I can tell you is the founder of KFC, I think, was he was a military guy, and then started KFC after he retired when he was over 60, for example. So personally, if you ask me personally, and again, I'm not trying to generalize, but the answer that comes to my mind is, I think you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it if you have what it takes. And I have met a lot of people that did that. They shifted career when they were mid-30s, 40s, mid-40s. I met people who shifted career at 50s. Like one of my friend's parents used to have a printing business, was leading printing business, and had been operating in the printing business for I think more than 20 years or 25 years, something like that, like quite a long time in a very specific field. And then he shut down his printing business and decided to start producing chocolate. True story. He was 50 something when he made this move. So I don't think age is a general problem, but maybe, because I feel, Ines, this question is coming from your analysis, right? That age, yes, exactly. This is what I was gonna say. That I think you're asking about a job that age is important, right? So we need to again analyze the career and see whether age is important. Do I have what it takes? If not, then probably this is not the right career for me, or it is highly unlikely that I land this career, right? But thank you for the question. So the second takeaway is choose the career that suits you. The first takeaway was make sure you're answering or addressing the root of the issue. And the second is choose the career that suits you, something that you can relate to. 2 points down, 2 more to go. Why are we hesitant sometimes? So I know I have I know the right career. I know myself very well. And now I want to like take a step and go towards the career I want to go for. Why am I hesitant? Let me tell you again a story that I faced almost 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago. I was younger, much younger, and I was driven. And yeah, Ronald is asking about this specific point. What about anxious about your next move, the unknown? How do you deal with this? Hamza's asking, don't you think that shifting careers so much time causes a loss of confidence regarding your own consistency and confidence? Yes, but this is exactly what I'm talking about here right now. Why are we hesitant? Like those two questions is coming from hesitance. So I'm getting into that in like 30 seconds. So I was saying you I was young and very driven, very ambitious, super ambitious, and I graduated from the School of Business. And for someone who studied business, working in the business consultancy field is like a dream. This is what every business professional probably wants to do in their early days. And I received a job offer. I'm Egyptian, by the way, by origin. And I was in Cairo that time, and I received a business proposition, like a job offer, from a company, a business consultancy firm in London. Fantastic opportunity, really, really, really good package. The company, like the office, was in the heart of London, and they offer accommodation. Like they have a residence, and then it's like 2-3 minutes away walking from the office. So I'm not gonna have to worry about accommodation. I don't have to pay for anything. Um, and they want me. Like there are no interviews. They already know me because I know someone. I met them, and they were like, "Hey, come work for us," kind of thing. And a bonus, my girlfriend at that time was completing her master's in London. What do you think about this job offer? Tell me. How does this sound to you? How perfect is this? Rama says, wow. I just like 100%. Ronald says, a good offer. Yeah. Nadine says, sounds perfect. Wada says, close to perfect. Okay, take this. My father, this is a true story. My father had 2 brain strokes in 3 months. 2 brain strokes in 3 months. And he was really sick. Now, should I leave him and go after my dream? It's a once in a life kind of opportunity. And at this point, I was doing marketing. I was not doing business consultancy. So it was considered a career shift. Fantastic opportunity. I land a business consultancy role in London. Thank you, Arama. He's fine, by the way, now. Thank you for the empathy. Um, what do you think? What should I do? You cannot tell me, by the way, because it depends on the values, right? A person who would leave the father and go to London is not worse than a person who would stay with the father. It depends on the values. Someone has ambition or achievement or power as one of their top values. Family comes later, so they would take the job. And someone else with the family value higher, like in my case, I decided to stay. And I turned the job offer down. The point I want to make is there is nothing called the perfect job offer. And when it comes to a career move, it's not going to be perfect. There is a price to pay. There will be a price to pay. And I don't want to sound like a motivational speaker or a religious preacher or whatever, but the point I'm trying to make is anything that life gives us comes with a price, right? Like you want to eat, you're going to pay. You want to drink, you're going to pay. Whatever you want to do, you're going to pay. You want to go for a job, you need to ask yourself, what is it that you're going to pay? You see what I mean? Yeah, and Eden is like, only if you could have had the option to work remotely at that time. I agree. That would have been heaven. Huh? So what I did, I want to tell you what I did to make decision. And I've been using this framework for the past 10 years or so. Never turned me down. It's a really good framework. Super easy, super simple. Gets you straight to what is the good decision to make. 4 questions to ask. The first question is, what is it that you really want? Deep inside of you, what do you want? The second question is, what story do you want to tell? Like I asked myself that time, in 10 years, do I want to say, and I left my father and I went, got the job offer and made a lot of money and made success and blah, blah, blah? Or do I want to say that I stayed with my father? And what story do you want to tell? The third question is there a tension that needs my attention? So this sounds like a fantastic job offer. But my father is sick. Just one factor that comes in the equation can turn the equation upside down. And again, it depends on your own values. It depends on your ikigai, your passions, and all of that. And the last question is, what is the price that you have to pay? What is the trade-off? I want to make a career shift move. Very good. Does this mean you're going to downgrade from where you are now? Now you are on a director level. Now you are a regional manager level. You start in a new career, you start fresh. You're a newbie. You're the new person in the place. So is this, like, are you ready to do that? This is what we call the investment mindset, right? I need to pay in order to get a higher return on the longer run. But that means I need to pay now. So are we assessing the price we're paying for choosing A over B? And this is why we regret, by the way. People regret because, we as people regret because sometimes we go for the instant gratification. What is it that we're winning? And we go for it, but we don't really realize or put into consideration what is it that we are losing in return. There is an English proverb called, or goes, choosing is losing. I don't know if you heard about it before. It's very famous. And this is the story. A modern English philosopher was walking in the streets of, like in some city in England, with his little kid, his little boy, and they were looking at the windows of the shops because they're about to get the boy the new Christmas clothes. And the kid ran at a window of one of the shops and was like, Father, look at this. I love this. It was like, the father was like, what's wrong? What's up? And the kid was like, look at these pair of shoes. And there were two pairs of shoes. Brown pair of shoes and black pair of shoes. And the father was like, well, you're right, son. They look really good. Which pair do you want? And the kid stopped for a second. He was like, but father, can I not have them both? And the father was like, I'm sorry, son. We don't have enough money. You got to pick one pair of shoes. And the kid paused again and looked at his father. And he was like, but father, if I choose the brown pair, I lose the black ones. And if I choose the black ones, I lose the brown ones. Father, choosing is losing. And this is where the proverb is coming from. So when we're making decisions, we need to be positive and optimistic about what is it that we're going to win. If I go with option A or if I go with option B, what do I get out of it? But also, we need to be mindful of what is it that we're going to lose. I'm making a career shift. What is the price I have to pay? Probably the hesitation is coming from here. This is the mindset, right? Ask yourself, why am I anxious? Like Ronald was asking if maybe I am anxious about my next move. Ask yourself, you're anxious because you're afraid of losing something. What is it that you're afraid of losing? And assess, is the career worth this price I'm going to pay? Is what I'm going to win worth what I'm going to lose? To me, only you can answer this question. Nobody can answer it for you. And I really love what you guys were saying earlier about trying new things. So even if you think a career shift, Hamza, would like cause you some loss of confidence or lack of consistency or whatever you want to call it, well, ask yourself, what is it that you're going to learn? Like Albert Einstein said, anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Try new things, learn, get experience, be wiser by making a lot of mistakes. It's a good thing. So our third takeaway for today is make good decisions. Decisions that are well thought through, that are analyzed, that are balanced between, and you have full clarity of what is it that you're going to win versus what is it that you're going to lose out of this career shift. So the first thing is career shift, the right solution or not? Hopefully it is. The second thing is, are you do you have clear understanding of who you are, what kind of a career you want to go for, and are you analyzing yourself, analyzing the career and doing this match objectively and scientifically or not. And the third takeaway is, when you decide on a decision, when you decide on an option, when you want to go for a specific job, when you decide on the transition, make sure you're making the good decision. It's the right job, it's the right time, it's the right place, it looks like the right opportunity. Now I have one last part to cover with you guys. It's brief, don't worry. How do I make it happen? So now I know I need to make a career shift. This is the right solution. And now I know who am I, what is a suitable career, and I have a good opportunity. So how do I make this count? This is how you make this count. But I want to challenge you first. Challenge. This career you want to go for, can you name 10 industry leaders or 10 thought leaders of this field or career you want to shift to? Can you name them? Can you describe the career norms, the traditions, the norms of this career? What are the latest trends and what are the future skills? Skills required 10 years from now in this field for one to be successful. Yes, there's something like that, by the way, if you don't know. There's something called preparing for the future or upskilling for the future. It's very important for you. Like if you're aspiring to explore and conquer new lands, you need to study these lands, right? So this is what you do. 9 steps. I'm going to tell you 9 steps to take in order to make a successful career shift. The first step is talk to successful professionals. Talk as in like talk one-to-one, as in read books, as in attend webinars like you do now, as in like go to YouTube, right? Attend conferences, seminars. Talk to successful professionals so that you know about the norms and the trends and what it takes to be successful, to educate yourself about this career, right? And make a lot of connections. The more you're present in these places, the more people know that Rama is looking for a career shift or Hamza is looking for blah, blah, blah. You're in their mind. They call it proximity bias. You have proximity, you have FaceTime. So whenever the topic comes up, you come up because you're attached to this. So you want to make an impression. You want to present yourself to this community of professionals of this career you want to shift to. And you're presenting yourself, you're letting everybody know that this is what you want to do next, all right? Be present to capture opportunities. The more you're present, the more you're likely to land an opportunity, right? And set goals. So go like, okay, so what is it that I'm going to study? Based on what I know and based on the analysis and everything, I have a few development areas. So what is my next move, for example? And this is deciding on the immediate next step that comes afterwards, right? So you set goals, you set timelines, you set success measures. It's very important to have a plan of what is it that you're going to study and what is it that that you need to develop on to make sure you meet the next opportunity. You develop your cash, knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. You want to become a college professor. Start living your daily life like a knowledge professor. A college professor, all right? So you wake up in the morning, the time they wake up. You eat what they eat. You drink what they drink. You read when they read, you know? When you live like a college professor, you're going to start becoming one. It worked for me twice, by the way. 4 career shifts, it worked for me twice. So trust me, it works. Don't ask me how, but it works. More calls, more orders. This is a rule of thumb in sales, right? The more you apply, the more you connect, the more you present yourself, the more you try to find opportunities and be there to meet them, the more likely you are to land on something. So keep pushing. More. Don't ask yourself, no, they're highly unlikely to reply. Just send them. I'm going to apply to the job, but they want 5 years of experience. I have only 3. Just apply, you know? Just be there. More calls, more orders. Adapt a growth mindset. This is one of the super important pieces when it comes to career shift. Guys, if you go like, what is it that I'm going to lose? But what about my confidence? Or what about my consistency? Or what about this? What about that? You're not going to go anywhere. You need to explore. We don't fail. We learn, right? We learn. So when you fail forward. Fail on the learning. Go like, okay, so now I know how to do this. Or now I know that I shouldn't do that, right? And this is my fourth takeaway. Aim for a learning experience. Aim for a learning experience, all right? And so our four takeaways from today is, number one, make sure that when you say, I want to make a career shift, make sure that you're addressing the right issue. Choose the career that suits you, not the career that looks good. Everybody wants to go invest in blockchain, right? But do you have what it takes to become a blockchain investor? Make good decisions. Ask yourself the four questions, right, that we asked. What is it that I want? What story do I want to tell? Is there attention that needs my attention? Am I willing to pay the price? So that you make a good decision. And aim for a learning experience. Talk to professionals. Widen your network. Read, study, develop, hunt opportunities. Try and fail. By the way, when you're shifting career, you don't need to go for a full-time job. You know what I mean? Just do a side hustle. Do a little bit of, we call them gigs, do a gig for free. Try to get some feedback, try it out and see how good you really are at this. All right. And now this might be scary, but this is much worse. So in a year, like a year is going to pass anyway. I mean, we all have long life, right? So start exploring, start developing yourself. I just want to end on a note with what to do next. So what is it like? What is the next step after this webinar? These are a few resources that I believe will be shared with you later. All right. But one of the things I want to highlight is that if you, and I'm going to get back to the other slide in a moment. But if you scan this QR code, you'll be able to book a free coaching session if you want to have a one-on-one discussion with me. And I'm going to share with you a link in the chat in a moment for a worksheet. You go to this worksheet, it's like a template, and when you fill it, you probably will have more clarity on what is it that you need to do next, all right? And I'm here for any questions, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Mina, for such an interesting session. Everyone who has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat section. Hamza is saying thanks. This webinar was so helpful and inspiring. Rama is saying thank you. Soher is also sharing thank you. I have a question, and I've also shared that in the chat.
You've just shared it like right now, right?
Yeah.
How long should the process be from thinking about changing your career to actually doing it? A minute.
Should we?
Like if you decide right now that, hey, you know what, like based on what I just heard, I think this idea I had in my mind with this career, it kind of fits. Let's go for it. Like, let's study, let's talk to professionals, let's make it happen. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, but like from like thinking about that you want to change it and to actually like starting on that job, how long do you think that should be?
It depends. Because not all the factors are in your hand, Hadia. Like it depends on opportunities, it depends on your approach, your strategy, you try, you fail. If I say 3 months and then you don't do it in 3 months, you're going to feel bad, So I don't want to mislead and say like, it should be that, because these are things you cannot generalize. If I want to become a college professor, it's going to take me 3 to 5 years to finish my PhD and become one. You see what I mean? So it depends. It depends.
Absolutely. Another question that we have is that what if somebody wants to change their career, but they cannot due to financial constraints?
Let's talk about, I need to know the specifics. The reason being is that I am sure that there is a way to secure the financial side of things. Like, I want to do something, but I don't have the money for it. Okay, let's find ways to make money, and therefore we make the move happen, right? You can make money in so many different ways. It's so easy to make money these days. It's 2022, and the internet is there. Just start a YouTube channel, put some ads, say whatever you know best, and people are going to watch you and you get money and go do what you want. Simple.
Great. Another question that we received is that how does one plan their exit from the current employer?
How?
Does one plan their exit from the current employer?
Could you rephrase the question? I don't get it.
How does one plan their exit from their current employer from the point that they've thought that they want to change their career?
I, generally speaking, just like you would exit, like professionally, of course. So you work until day zero, right? You're a
Mhm.
full-time employee. You still work, 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 but then do side hustles and do it. Do it. I would say, what's the word?
Right.
Seamlessly, like and smoothly and gradually, so that you're also being fair to your employer. You don't wake up in the morning and go like, okay, thanks guys, these are the keys. I'm gonna hopefully see you around. It's not fair. Give them the notice depending on your contract. Maybe your contract says 1 month notice, 3 months notice, so it depends, right? Um, and and yeah, like this is I think this is what I have to say about this point.
Great. And we also have a question from Rama who is saying, should we have a safety net backup plan or just go all in?
There has to be 3 4 plans, but okay, give me a second. I'm conscious of time. I know we ran out of time, but this is I want to show you what I'm going to share with you in the chat in a minute. All right, it is the worksheet that I told you guys about, and I think you'll find it interesting. I put it in a folder so that it's easier for everybody to reach. Any questions until I get the thing? Any more questions?
We have Hamza asking, what if we are not satisfied with our new career after leaving the first one?
Well, you do it again. Are you out of time? Like if you're still breathing, enjoy life. I'm talking from a place where I have done it. Like the reason why I've done it is because I wasn't satisfied. See what I mean? So that what I have to say about this. Depending on your values and um, on your accountabilities. Like some people can't afford to keep just starting from scratch. But this comes back to making good decisions. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, Guys, this is what I'm about to share with you. Like, I'll share with you the link to this. And then this is a worksheet that puts everything we discussed into practice. All right. And the career analysis and everything. But then you were asking about how long does it take and what if there is no plan, like a plan didn't work. So, yes, plan B is there. You need to have a plan B, right? But when you do it in a way that you are enjoying it. Don't stress out. You are hunting a move that you love. So why are you stressed? Because you want to go do what you love. Do it with joy.
Absolutely. Any other questions, guys, do you want to share? Varda is asking a question. She's saying making a career shift might make you appear indecisive, inconsistent in front of employers. How to handle this?
Make it count. Make yourself convincing. If you don't believe in yourself, they're not going to believe in you. So when you go to an interview or you have a discussion or you have an opening, don't go like, I wasn't sure about my previous career, so I'm thinking of exploring this one. You don't sound very confident. Don't do that. But like, I came to a realization, I had a change of passion or I had a change of heart, and this is what I want to do because this is the reality, right? You're not bluffing them. You really had that. I came to a realization that this is what I want to do now, and I really wish, like, to like make this impact I'm aspiring to make with you, or that you give me the opportunity or the space to to perform and make an impact and satisfy my energy and drive in this capacity. You see what I mean? So if you sound some sort of a conversation, if you sound unconfident, they're going to have this impression. But if you present yourself like you know what you're doing and you're positive about this move and you're very confident, you have a vision and you know what you're doing, they're they're going to believe what you believe.
Great. I think with this, we will wrap up the session today. I would like to thank everybody who's joined in. Thank you, Abdul Sattar, Anik, Fatma, Hamza, Inas, Nidhin, Rabia, Ronald, Soha, and Varda. Thank you so much for joining in. We had a great time with all of you. And Meena, thank you so much for sharing your insights and everything that you've shared in this webinar. We've all learned a lot from this session. And I'd like to thank everyone